Hello, my friends. My name is Paul Weymouth, and thank you for joining me. Today, I have a short story recommendation. It is the brief life story of Lila by Danny Cherry Jr. This comes from the FIA issue number 21, the winter 2022 issue. So, the brief life story of Lila is a very emotional story to read. It is about a woman named Lila who learns very early that she can tell when people are going to die. So when she touches them, she knows when they are going to die, and she learns her parents are going to die when she was very young, and she tries to do something to stop it, but she can't. Later on, she tries to stop a person in the orphanage that is her friend from committing suicide, and she's unable to stop them as well. She has meaningless encounters with different people, with men in particular. Each time she meets somebody, she asks them, hey, do you want to know when you are going to die? She'll slip them a napkin with the date of their death on it, and a lot of times that scares them away, and many times she's unable to touch people. She has to wear gloves all the time. It kind of reminds me of Rogue from the X-Men, only just a really horrible ability. So she then meets a man that doesn't want to know the exact day that he's going to die, and they have this great life together. They fall in love, and things are better for her. But then she has children, and they have to decide, okay, what are we going to do with the children? Are we going to know when they die? And what happens is a very emotional, a very strong story that made me feel at first anguish and pain. This poor woman living with this infirmity, but then later, as she finds the love of her life, so much joy and love in her life and with her new family, and I'm just so happy for her. And then, other things happen in the story that I'll talk about at the end, which would be some spoilers. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was written fantastic. Right from the very first sentence, the very first paragraph, I was sucked in, I was hooked. I wanted to read more. And it really made me feel like I was in this person's life, knowing kind of what she's going through. And I feel like Danny Cherry Jr. did a great job of just expressing how it would feel to know these things about people, and how someone's life is very messy, but somebody can come along and help them realize that even though they're living with this infirmity or possibly like a disability, you can still have a joyous life. So I highly recommend this one, The Brief Life Story of Lila by Danny Cherry Jr. And now I'm going to talk about some spoilers. So in this story, she finds out that they decide not to know about when their children are going to die, and one of her children dies in a car accident, and the husband Paul is very hurt by this because they could have known when the child was going to die, and they could have cherished every moment in life with that child. And so this causes a huge rift in their relationship, and they get divorced. Lila becomes despondent, lonely, depressed. She becomes an alcoholic. Her other living son is very worried about her. And there's this idea and theme of this story where we need to grab on to every moment and to really feel every moment and to cherish every moment like it's our last. However, at the end, Paul and Lila meet together in their old age and fall in love again. But this time, it is very close to when Paul's about to die. And also, Lila ends up having dementia or Alzheimer's. It's not clear which one. She's starting to lose her memory. And we find out that the story is actually written by Paul as a way for Lila to remember her past and remember who she is and to remember her children and to remember the love of her life, Paul. Great story. I highly recommend it.